in the late 90s, started a wedding planning and then a bridal shop business around the GFC, moved to Florida, ran that business for around 18 months before you could sell it. Then in 2011, started a fashion resale business, initially bricks and mortar, then growing the online side of the business. During COVID, replaced the entire team after realizing they weren't aligned to the business's core values, and growing the store to 13,000 square feet and from 2 to now 30 full-time equivalent team members. Well done and congratulations on the growth.
Putting yourself out there and just do the damn thing.
Mm.
Because so many times as business owners, we get analysis paralysis and we sit there and think about, okay, well, if I do this, then this will happen. You do have to do that sometimes, but you don't have to sit and vacillate on every single decision that you make. Just get out there and do the damn thing and see what happens.
G'day and welcome to the Grow a Small Business Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Trewin. Each week, we speak with an owner who has grown a business with 5 to 30 team members to something bigger. Diving into their numbers and unearthing the pain they've experienced, we explore what they did to overcome each barrier and what they would do differently from day one. Let's get into it.
Welcome everyone. Today I'm interviewing Jennifer Ann Johnson from True Fashionistas based in Naples, United States. Thanks for your time today, Jennifer.
Absolutely. I'm excited to be here.
And let's start with how we know each other. I think you emailed a few months ago.
Yes, we connected via email, and here we are a few months later, and honored to be on your podcast.
Tell our audience a bit about your business, what it does and how it makes money.
Yeah, so I own True Fashionistas, which is the largest lifestyle resale store in the state of Florida. And I often get asked, well, what is lifestyle resale? Well, it's clothing and accessories for men and women, as well as furniture and home decor. And we have handbags and shoes and jewelry and that kind of thing as well. And it started back in 2011. Do you want me to go into how I started it and the whole journey now, or?
Yeah, well, maybe just to explain a bit more, is it just online or you have a physical presence as well?
Sure. So when we started our business in 2011, we started it as a brick and mortar store. We also had an online component of it, so we could be omni-channel, as they say. And at the time that we started our store, people thought we were crazy because nobody put resale, nobody put consignment online because you have one of everything. It's very labor intensive. And we thought, well, who cares if no one's done it? We'll be the first ones to do it. So we're running our brick and mortar store alongside the online store. And obviously the brick and mortar store is really still our bread and butter, but the online store is really taking off, and we really have a large following of people who are shopping every single day on our website.
And I assume you had a big bump when COVID hit.
Yeah, so COVID was really, really challenging, and it ushered in a new segment for our business, which was live shopping. So when COVID hit and we were not able to be open for a couple months, we were luckier than a lot of states because our state, I think, was probably the first state that actually opened after the pandemic. And we started doing live shows, selling live on Facebook, and then eventually live on our website. And previous to COVID, I had started a website called Resale TV. I used to work on a home shopping channel, so it was in my DNA. I knew what I was doing, and I started doing that. And it was too early in the game, when you do something, and you're like, I have this idea. Let's create a new home shopping channel just for resale. It was too far ahead of its time at that point.
Yeah.
And so it never really took off. Then COVID hits and we start doing things live on Facebook. And that was just the spark that we needed. That was the catalyst that really catapulted the live show. So that became a modality in which we still sell today. We have a live showroom built out in our store to do live shows on our website as well as eBay.
Yeah, fantastic. And how did you start out? So you way back in 2011, maybe take us or any earlier if you want to go back. Yeah.
Sure. So I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, about 25 years, 25 to 28 years, we'll call it. And it really all started after I got married. And I realized, you know what? I really liked planning my wedding. I think I can do this. This is easy. So became a certified wedding planner. I was crazy. Certified wedding planner, and lo and behold, I started planning all these weddings out of my house. And it grew to a point that I grew out of my house because then I started doing chair cover rentals and ceiling, all the things to make a wedding pretty. And my husband's like, "You've taken over my garage. We need to figure this out." So we ended up buying a building and I opened up a bridal shop. So on top of the wedding and event planning, I also had the bridal shop, ran that for 10, 12 years until we moved to Florida. When we moved to Florida, I had already kind of percolated the idea that I wanted to start something like True Fashionistas because where we're at, and in that time in a time of the world, resale and consignment shopping was kind of that stodgy old store. You walked into it, it smelled, it was gross. I'm like, why does it have to be that way? It doesn't have to be that way. Let's reinvent the consignment resale store. Let's give it a redo. And so I already had in my mind when we moved here that that's what I wanted to do. And a few years after we moved to Florida is when we started it. And there was nothing that combined really expensive things. We're talking Chanel and Gucci, brands like that, Hermes, with more what we call mainstream or mid-market brands, your mall brands, your Gap, your J. Crew, your Ann Taylor, those brands. Nothing combined those two together. And I'm like, let's create it. So we created it. We started with 1,800 square feet. The next year we grew to 3,600. A few years after that, we opened a home store where we had furniture and home decor. And then in 2022, we combined both of those concepts into one large store, which is about 13,000 square feet.
Wow.
And we're the largest of its kind in the state of Florida.
And with the bridal shop and the wedding business, but you obviously moved to Florida. Did you sell that business?
Sure. We actually, that was the downturn of the economy here in the US. In 2008, we really, there were, I don't know if it was all over the world, but I know in the US, we had a lot of issues um, with mortgages and people being able to refinance their homes to buy businesses because that's what people did. And so we weren't able to sell it right away. And I actually ran the business absentee from Florida for about a year, year and a half. And then we were able to finally sell the business. And then we had opened up True Fashionistas from there.
Right. So you started True Fashionistas 14 years ago in 2011. How old were you then when you started?
Oh my gosh, how old was I?
Yeah,
Not I was 40.
40.
No, I was in my 30s because I'm 50 now. So yes.
36. I think I've just had enough
Or
coffee.
there you go. I can't do the math. So there we go. Oh my gosh. I'm not a math person. I don't love math.
Do you have some key numbers you can share to illustrate the growth of the business over the 14 years? I mean, the floor space growing up to 13,000 square feet is amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
And we literally started out with, I think, 2 employees.
Yep.
And now we have a total of probably 47 employees. Full-time equivalents, probably about 30 full-time equivalents. But because we're in Florida, have a very transient population, meaning people will come here for the winter and they'll go back up north where the weather is nice in the summer because it's so hot in Florida. So we do take on some seasonal employees during the winter months because that is really when we are super busy.
When was the moment you felt like you had succeeded?
You know, here's the thing with me. And succeeding is success to me is when I love doing what I'm doing. If I have a sense of satisfaction and pure joy and love for what I'm doing, I have succeeded. People measure success in many different ways. And that's my definition of it because I'm of the mindset if I walk into a room and have the thought in my head like, "Phew, I made it," that's the day I'm done. And I'm done because that means I'm going to stop learning because I think I've made it. I don't need to do anymore. I don't need to make anything better. So I never have the mindset that I've succeeded in the sense that some people would. My idea of success is loving what I do, and I am successful every day because I love what I do.
Does that answer the next question? What does success look like to you?
Yes, it means loving doing what I'm doing, finding joy in it every day. And the minute that I'm not, then I'm going to find something else to do. And I actually have another business that I run as well, not because I wasn't finding joy in what I was doing, but because I wanted to help other people figure it out, because I figured it out the hard way. I didn't have somebody that was a mentor beside me telling me, that's not a good idea, or maybe you should try this. And that's with my other business, what I'm aiming to do for people and with them.
And is that in any specific industries you're aiming to help, like fashion or any?
Well, sure, I'm very specific in retail. However, I do help many small businesses in many areas, notably, if we're not talking retail, notably when people are giving presentations. I find that that is the hardest thing for people is, they say the number one fear besides dying is public speaking.
Mm.
And I have a lot of experience with it. And I am actually a professional speaker. I travel around the country speaking. And one of the things that I have learned, whether I'm listening to a nonprofit or I'm listening to somebody give me a pitch on something, I really pay attention. And I'm like, wow, there's a lot of work to do in this space. So I work with small business owners on polishing up their presentation skills, making sure that PowerPoint isn't just all words, making sure that they're quelling their ahs and their ums and they're using the pauses and using the stage in the correct way. There's a lot of things that go into it. And I started doing that because again, it's another passion of mine. It's another thing that I love doing.
Number one thing you'd recommend to marketing a fast-growing business?
Consistency. Not in anything that you do, posting on your social media, utilizing your email list because so many people don't do that. I feel like it got lost over the last, I don't know, 5 to 8 years because people were hyper focused on social media. And no matter what it is you do, if you're not consistent, it's not going to give you results. If you say, well, I've tried email, I've tried social media. Okay, what does that look like? Did you consistently post? Did you consistently send out those emails 1 to 2 a week for how many months? So I believe in consistency, certainly when you're talking about marketing for sure.
Yeah, and that point on the email list, people, especially over the last few years, like you said, thinking it's dead or dying, and social's the next new thing. Whereas look, the social platforms obviously want you to pay and boost posts, etc. So something like only 5 to 10% of your followers will see an organic post. And it's just nowhere near as effective as email. The Direct Marketing Association in the US there publish each year what the return you get on each channel, and email is still by far the best. $44 for every $1 you put into email marketing. Next best is SEO at $22, paid ads at 20, and social posts are lower than that. So it's so important. People think, oh, they're going to unsubscribe, and yes, some will, but nowhere near to the level you think. And you've got to consistently, at least
And
weekly. Yeah.
text messaging as well. I mean, we have utilized that and seen such great ROI with it. I mean, we could hit send on a text message and have 300 people on our website within
Hmm.
seconds, minutes. It is pretty powerful
Yeah.
because, I don't have my phone with me, but we wake up to our phone and we go to bed with our phone. And you have to go where they're at.
That's it. Yeah. And how did you fund this business?
Really? I funded it with my own money.
Yeah.
We've done any of our businesses. We've funded it with our own money. We've figured it out. We've made it work however we've had to make it work. And, everybody does it a little bit differently, but that's kind of the path that I've always taken.
So you haven't had to take investors on.
No, we haven't.
That's great. Well done.
No.
If you were to start up today with plenty of funding, would you go into your industry?
Absolutely. So the resale industry is on fire. You open up any magazine, and I don't care whether it's a high fashion magazine like Vogue or Vanity Fair, any of them, they're all talking about resale. And you can see it written up in any magazine, any newspaper you pick up, everybody's talking about it. The number fluctuates depending upon who you talk to, but it's in the billions as to where it is going. It's already there and it's just going to grow more incremental. And with all of the challenges that we're facing here in the US with tariffs, It is certainly going to be the go-to choice for people to shop versus going to a regular retail store where they have to pay the tariffs. With a resale store such as mine, you don't have to because our merchandise has already been paid for and used by the end consumer, and we're passing that along to you. So I think it has everywhere to go, and I certainly would enter into this business again.
Yeah, especially with consumers becoming more aware and conscious of sustainability and the environment, etc. The circular fashion is becoming really popular. And I read a stat even just yesterday that something like 40% of clothing that is manufactured isn't ever sold or used, which is a huge
Ends up
waste.
in landfills.
Yep.
Exactly. We have a huge problem around the world with clothing, textiles ending up in landfills. And I mean, I just saw a whole video on it the other day, and it's appalling. I mean, they're washing up on beaches in India and all over the world. It is honestly really crazy what has been created. And I want to go and say, it's fast fashion's problem, the Sheins of the world and that kind of thing, but I think it does run deeper than that. But over the last decade, people have really embraced fast fashion, and now they're kind of poo-pooing it.
Hmm.
And we've seen many stores go out of business because people are not shopping fast fashion like they used to.
Well, my 12-year-old daughter certainly is.
She's contributing to it.
Whenever I see
Yes.
she's got the tablet, I have to slap her out of her hand if I see Temu or Sheen on there.
Yes, well, I think that is coming to a little bit of a halt here in the US because of tariffs. It's going to make those products kind of level with other products that they could get here stateside.
Yeah. Can you outline the most stressful point in your small business growth journey so our audience can learn from it?
Sure. I would say two things. Definitely COVID. And we live in the land of hurricanes. So every summer from June through November, we have a potential of being hit by hurricanes. And over the last 5 years, we have had devastating hurricanes. And that not only affects it that day, but it affects it weeks leading up to it and months afterwards. And COVID was stressful because we couldn't be open. And everybody in the world thought they were all done. And we were all kind of on the same playing field, right? Everybody was feeling the same thing. But with these storms, yes, we know they're coming. We just never know what the outcome is going to be of them. And, you know, the only thing I have to lean on is my faith.
Hmm.
It's the faith that, you know what, this is going to pass. It's going to be okay. And as humans, as we know from any other disaster that's happened, whether it was COVID, a pandemic, or if it was a natural disaster, as humans, we have very short memories.
Hmm.
And when we say this too shall pass, it will. You just have to figure out how to weather the storm in between it. But just knowing this too shall pass.
What area in business do you feel you've had to work on the most to add the greatest value?
Definitely numbers. In the resale industry, resale is very labor intensive. So it takes a lot of people to do it right. And you've got to do a dance with your numbers and make it work. So that's probably on top of the fact that I'm more of a marketing person and my husband's more of a numbers person. I've tried my best to insert myself in places that I wouldn't normally be because we know that, here's your comfort zone. And the times you get on the outside of that circle that are not your comfort zone, it just increases your comfort zone circle. So I've tried my best, and I would definitely say financial.
What have you enjoyed the least about managing fast growth?
Not being able to grow fast enough. And what I mean by that is I have grand ideas, but you can't always move on them as fast as you like because there may not be the space available, which is what we've encountered. Or you know what, you may not have the funds that you need to add 2 or 3 stores. So we haven't, I mean, we've had growth, but we've done it kind of slow and steady, not necessarily rapid. And I think the most rapid growth we had was when we first opened, and then when we reopened in our new location. That's when we've seen the most explosive growth. And just looking down the pike, adding more stores will definitely add to that. And I'm let's do it right now. And I know that that doesn't always work that way in business.
So you're planning on opening more stores around
Yeah.
Florida? Yeah.
Yes. Well,
Fantastic.
around Florida and then eventually nationwide if it permits.
Yeah, great. What do you love most about growing a small business?
The ability to have the autonomy to make decisions quickly. I don't need to go through a layer of 5 people to make a decision, and neither do my employees. Our employees can come to us and say, "Hey, what do you think?" "Sure, let's try it." And seeing them go, "Wow, they're using my idea. They're at least trying my idea," is really, really a cool thing. And it's not something that a lot of people, if you're in corporate, understand because it takes 5 or 6 people to be able to get a yes. And we can say yes in a second. And I love that part. We are creating our own destiny.
What has been the biggest mindset shift for you in your small business growth journey?
Definitely that things in business and in life are going to happen for us and not to us. Once I made that shift, and I think that was probably around the COVID time, that I really realized, wow, okay, this was a gift. Okay. Anytime something is thrown at you that is outside that comfort zone, if you look at it as a gift, if you look at it as a what was this put in my lap to learn from it? It will change the entire situation because you're thinking about it a completely different way than you would if you were like, oh, can't believe this is happening to me. What the heck? If you change your mindset about it, it will change your approach to fixing whatever it is that's in front of you.
The number one habit you think a small business owner needs to develop and maintain?
Oh my gosh. I would say the number one habit would be putting yourself out there and just do the damn thing.
Mm.
Because so many times as business owners, we get analysis paralysis and we sit there and think about, okay, well, if I do this, then this will happen. You do have to do that sometimes, but you don't have to sit and vacillate on every single decision that you make. Just get out there and do the damn thing and see what happens. You don't necessarily have to do it to the scale that you've imagined it. Start it small. Just get momentum, do something. And that momentum could turn into something much bigger.
Want specific advice to help you get your business through its number one growth challenge? Book a free 20-minute growth chat with me, Troy, the founder of Grow a Small Business. I'll recommend some resources which will help you grow your business with ease so you can live the lifestyle you've signed up for. Go to growasmallbusiness.com and click on Growth Chat.
Now, with 47 team members, and obviously this business has been going for 14 years, and your first business, the wedding planning and the bridal shop, you would have hired a lot of people over that time. Can you talk to how you've added people to the team, some wins, mistakes, and advice for those listening?
Sure. So I've definitely made mistakes. I've hired people that don't fit with who we are as a company. COVID taught me that. Outside of COVID, I realized, wow, I this is not the team that I envisioned. And coming back from COVID, we fired everyone on the team and started out brand new. That was very, very hard to do. But I will tell you, not hiring employees to your core values of your company is a big mistake. When I learned that that's how you get the teammates that mesh with everybody, it was a game changer. So what we do now is we have our core values as a company, and they're not just pretty words on a wall. We have them everywhere, yes, but we hire to them as well. So we've devised questions based on our core values. And when we interview people, we ask them those questions. And that will, if they're being truthful, and usually, there are some surprises, but if they're being truthful, you'll be able to get the answers that you need to go, are they culturally a fit for our company? And if they are, they'll get the job. That's a really important lesson that I learned.
Yep, totally. We recommend using your core values and creating behavioral questions to filter out those that don't align with your core values. And we've got a 12-week people program, and 2 weeks of that is recruitment. And that is certainly one aspect that we help small business owners and their managers develop those questions to get that core value alignment so critical.
It is very important.
What are some of the things you recommend to building a sustainable and kick-ass culture to help with the growth?
Again, I have to go back to core values because that is the foundation. That's the cornerstone of everything that you're doing. If you don't hire to the level that you want everyone to be at, you can't add to it. You can't add to your team. You can't add to your business. And, you were talking about using the questions as filters for hiring, but you're also using your core values as filters for every decision that you make. Should I be doing this? Does this align with who we are? And I think small business owners, especially, kind of don't understand that right away because they're like, well, I don't understand. Do I have to have separate core values for my business and for my, no. As a small business owner, if you're the owner of the company, most of the time, what you hold true as a person is going to spill over to your business because it's an extension of who you are. And I think I have to go back to core values.
Tell our audience how you've handled balance.
I don't know if there is such a thing as balance, to be honest. For me, I find joy in doing, like I said earlier, my idea of success is doing something that I love. So I go and do what I love for however long I can do it, knowing that I still need to come home to my family. I still need to go do all of the other things. So I just need to prioritize. And I partially I get up very early. I'm an early bird and I use the hours of 5 to 7 to really do my important work. And so I think it's more of prioritizing than balancing.
How much professional development have you invested in yourself?
A lot. I really believe in developing myself as a business owner, as a person. I have been in masterminds, I have had coaches, I take courses, I read books. If you see my bookshelf, it is chock full and it's only part of what I have. I am a voracious learner. So much so that I went back to school 2 years ago and I'm graduating this December with my degree. And it's just a really important thing because, again, the minute you think you arrived, you're done.
Yep. As Henry Ford said, if you stop learning, you're old. Now, you've mentioned you've had coaches. Have you had mentors along the way?
Absolutely. And my mentors really have come to me over the last 5 to 8 years. Did not have mentors when we first started the business, either of my businesses. And it's something that I really wish I would have had. But yes, I rely heavily on a few of my mentors because they've been around the block. They've seen things. They can see things in a different light because, again, they're not connected to your business like you are.
Hmm. Do you have a board of directors or advisors?
So I don't have a formal board of directors or advisors, but I will say that I always advise any client that I work with that they have a quote unquote board of directors. And what I mean by that is whether these people are paid, like your accountant, your attorney, bookkeeper, whoever those are, and then your mentors, the people that you can talk to that can give you advice. And that's your board of directors, your unpaid board of directors, but they're there to help and advise you.
Now, Jennifer, you're one of the few we've had on that has exited a business. You got any advice for those listening and thinking about selling one day?
Sure. Have everything in place first. And I learned that after my first business, we sold that, is if you go into it with a playbook, and you can call it playbook, some people call it an operations manual, but if you have all of the processes in place, typed out, printed out, however, digitally, whatever it is, for that potential buyer, that really increases the value of your business. If they can walk in and learn exactly what it is that they need to do, you're far ahead of the game.
Yeah, that's great advice. All right, Jennifer, on to our final 5 questions. What do you think is the hardest thing in growing a small business?
Staying the course, staying, I have actually in one of my notebooks, I have a picture of a horse with pink blinders on because pink is my signature color. Just staying focused and staying in your lane and not worrying about all the people over here doing their thing, your competitors. Don't worry about them. Worry about you because you're only competing against yourself.
Favorite business book which has helped you the most?
Oh my gosh. Probably Begin with We by Kyle McDowell. In that book, it talks a lot about culture and how if you're standing shoulder to shoulder with your employees, you're going to be far better off than you feel if you're up here and they're down here. You're standing shoulder to shoulder with them because you wouldn't be where you're at without them.
Yeah, I haven't heard that book and put that on my list.
A great book.
Any great podcasts or online learning tools you use for your own professional development?
Oh my goodness. Well, I listen to several podcasts. The main one that I've been listening to lately is it's social media marketing, but it's their AI version. So it's talking all about AI because I use a lot of AI in my secondary business. I also use it in our regular in True Fashionistas as well, but that is the main one that I've been listening to for quite some time, and I find great value in it.
One tool you'd recommend to help grow a small business?
I would say a scheduling tool for your social media. And the reason why I suggest that is because I have my whole year mapped out as to what, like in buckets, kind of like I'm going to post on Mondays a motivational thing, on Tuesdays, this, so on and so forth. You can schedule all of that so that you at least have a base layer to publish. Then you can do the fill ins as you see fit. You may be out somewhere, you may be in your business and be like, oh my gosh, this is a great post. And then you can post on the fly, but you had your base layer there. So definitely a software that you can use to schedule. I use CoSchedule and love it. Other people use other things, and it's just whatever works for you.
Finally, my favorite question. What would you tell yourself on day one of starting out around 28 years ago?
You can do hard things. That'd be it. You can do hard things.
Thanks so much for your time today, Jennifer. Really enjoyed our chat. In the late 90s, started a wedding planning and then a bridal shop business. Around the GFC, moved to Florida, ran that business for around 18 months before you could sell it. Then in 2011, started a fashion resale business, initially bricks and mortar, then growing the online side of the business. During COVID, replaced the entire team after realizing they weren't aligned to the business's core values, and growing the store to 13,000 square feet and from 2 to now 30 full-time equivalent team members. Well done and congratulations on the growth.
Thank you so much.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Please leave a review in iTunes or whatever platform you listen to us on. It means more small business owners will find our cast and help people with their business growth journey.